Welcome to another episode of Live Well. My name is Mary Blake, your host, and every week, as stated, we look at different industry professionals to show us how to best structure our lives physically, mentally, and financially. First, we have a product review from our very first sponsor, and we're just going to take a look. This is from Maluka. And their slogan is, you only get one life, one body, one opportunity on earth. Let's make it great. And they've got over 400 wellness products, and all of their products are centered around wellness. They're organic, no parabens, and no chemicals. And so we've got a beautiful facial scrub, a hydrating daily moisturizer, a cleansing cellular water, and an alcohol-free toner. So again, want to say thank you to our friend Amy Varley over at Maluka. We'll post her link below if you want to check out the products. But I have the pleasure for today's guest of introducing an awesome industry professional in the insurance industry. This guy is everywhere all the time. He's always doing great things. I see him almost as kind of a mentor, and he is the Vice President of Symmetry, Mr. David Alvarado. Thank you for coming today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So, David, tell us a little bit about what got you into this industry and what keeps you going every day.
Yeah, I didn't come into the industry because I thought insurance was cool. I came in because I lost my job in my career, went to school for electronic engineering, and that went away when things got slow. And I got introduced by accident. And somebody just said, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, "Nothing." He said, "Why don't you come check out the insurance industry?" I kind of hesitated in the beginning because I was like, sales is not for me. But when I got introduced to it, I saw the potential. I saw the unlimited potential, and it was about just getting uncomfortable and growing and embracing challenge. And that's what got me started. And what keeps me here is much different from why I started. I started because I wanted to make a great income. I wanted to have a house and in the lifestyle. And I realized that making money is great, but without a purpose or future growth, it just kind of gets dull after a while. So what keeps me here is the opportunity to continue to share this with other people, be able to mentor people through this industry and help them navigate the do's and don'ts and how to get people to where I'm at much faster than where I got here. So that's what really kind of keeps me here, and it keeps this business interesting. It keeps my my growth prevalent, and it keeps my personal growth on my toes as well.
Wonderful. I love that. And can you tell us a little bit about the different types of insurance if someone is looking for products?
Yeah, so in the insurance industry, there's about 5 different ones. There's term insurance, there's final expense, there's accidental, there's whole life, which a lot of people have heard of, and then there's index universal life. And so each one is a little bit different. They are meant to cover different avenues of a family's situation, whether you want to build cash value at a tax-free basis, which would be a participating whole life or an index universal life, or the very simple, hey, I just want term insurance, something cheap, and I need to cover a lot of coverage because my family is growing and I have a lot of variables. So if I die tomorrow, my family needs a lot of income revenue so they can be able to supplement and continue to maintain the lifestyle. So there are also, those accidental policies for people that are just focused on something. Hey, if I die in an accident, or the final expense for our seniors that are looking to cover those final expenses that are unexpected, and to make sure that they're not paying these heavy costs of paying your own plot, paying your own burial, it's very expensive to do it that way. So there's a way for everybody, from somebody that's 1 day old, or doesn't matter, all the way up to age 85.
Absolutely. And so there's obviously a lot of agencies out there. What advice would you give to someone who is, say, they're interested in a term or a universal life, but they don't know where to start?
Yeah, it's really tough. I believe in relationships matter. And if you get with somebody that is all they're doing is trying to sell you, that's kind of like a transactional relationships.
Hmm.
If you get somebody with somebody that is looking to build a relationship with you, get to know who you are and how you are and what your family dynamic is and what's your budget is, that's who you would probably want to lean towards because they're more interested in learning how to best cover your family versus how to make a commission. And so when you're looking for insurance, you're shopping for an insurance company, you're really kind of just shopping for a insurance agent as well. Is that agent going to represent you and your family correctly? And are they going to make the best recommendation? Or are they just trying to make a commission? So that's what I would suggest.
That's great advice. Where would you see yourself, whether it's in the same industry or somewhere else in the next 10 years? What are your goals and aspirations?
Wow, that's a loaded question. My goals are consistently changing. Right now, this year is to grow my agency and to multiply myself, duplicate myself, building leadership within my organization. The more I build leadership and help develop other leaders, the more I get my time back. So in the beginning, I worked really hard and I didn't have any time. I made a lot of money, but didn't have any time. Now, as my family starts to grow, I feel like I want my time back. So I want to build leadership within my organization so I can not sacrifice the income and still be able to capture my time back. So leadership is really big in my organization right now. And as long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, we're going to be hitting our goals. And as long as I'm helping others achieve their goals, we will hit our goals. And so our next 5-year, 10-year marker, we just came back from a retreat and we put some pretty scary goals in front of us. And that's to really, really make some impact in the organization and as a company as a whole. Which would be getting 5 people up to my level. So to be able to rise 5 different organizations to my level, which would be a heavy challenge right now. I've done 1 and 2 will be within the next 12 months. And then 3, 4, and 5 will probably within the next 2 to 3, 5 years, maybe.
Nice. Well, I look forward to seeing that happen. And if someone wants to contact you directly, if they're like, I see this guy, I want to start a relationship with him professionally, how can they reach you?
I mean, the best way is social media. I think everybody has to go through this social media proofing at one point, right? Let me see what this guy's all about. So if you want to find me on Instagram, I changed my name recently. It's the official David Alvarado. There's a ton of David Alvarados out there. I'm on Facebook as well. That one's easy. David Alvarado. There's not too many different ones out there, but Instagram I'm more active on. TikTok, same thing. Not too active, but mainly on Instagram.
Okay, perfect. And any crazy stories or any kind of something that you could leave that just stands out to people?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to share the most recent story. I've been doing this business for 20 years now, so I've kind of gone through a recession. I've gone through some changes in the market, and I've gone through changes in companies. I went from one company to another. This is my 3rd company that I'm worked at now, and I believe it's the last one. But the most important story that I have is that change is inevitable. You have to change. If you're not getting what you want in your career, then something's got to change, because either you're going to decide to change or the environment's going to make you change. And when you're deciding to change, it's a lot easier than the environment making you change, and you're just dragging your feet along the way and complaining. And so recently I had, in 2022, had recently merged from one company to Symmetry now, and letting go of what I know to learn something new. And, we don't know what we don't know. And when you start learning a little bit more about the things that will propel you forward, you start realizing that, hey, I don't really know that much. And what I think I know only got me so far. And this is where pride and ego will stop you right there at what you know. And this is where it got me. Humility will allow you to grow past that. And our humility will allow us to learn something new. Your ego does not let you learn anything new. You know what you know, and that's good enough to get you where you want to be, or you think it's going to get you further, but it really doesn't. And it's our humility that allows us to bury our ego and say, hey, I'm going to open myself up and learn something new, because if nothing changes, nothing changes. Mm-hmm. And so in 2021, in 2020, I ran into a really big wall and I couldn't get over it. And the only thing that got me over it is putting down a goal that I've never put before, and that was to have a relationship with God. And in 2021, I found a church. February of 2022, I got baptized, and I was born again. That same year, we switched over to Symmetry. And if it wasn't for me making that decision in February of 2022, March of 2023 would have been a completely different starting point for me, because I would have started with ego versus humility. Mm-hmm. 2022, by the end of 22, we finished the year 23. We started a whole new year, and it was trying to do new things with old habits, trying to do new things with old ways of thinking, and it didn't work. And what happened is that I was changing, but my team wasn't. They didn't want to grow in humility. They wanted to stay in their ego and their pride. And so at the end of 2023, I ended up losing about 80% of my organization. And it was probably the most devastating thing that's ever happened to me in my career. Mm-hmm. Somebody told me once, David, go hit rock bottom, because you change by going down that low. And I always thought to myself, why do I have to be dirt broke to change? Well, rock bottom means different for a lot of people. It doesn't mean broke. It doesn't mean, being in the streets. It really can mean starting over. And so for me, hitting at the end of 2023 was me sitting rock bottom, starting over. I started 2024 with a completely different mindset, organization, systems. I did everything different, and I left everything that I thought I knew behind. And it was because of the fact that I was leading with humility and not with ego. And it was uncomfortable. It was hard. It was like every step was calculated. Every step I had to think of. Every word I had to really be intentional about saying. My relationships that I was building, the partnerships that I was building, the systems that I was implementing, I was intentional about everything, and it was walking on eggshells for a certain period of time. And the second half of 2024, we literally exploded. And it wasn't because I'm good at what I do. Even though I have 20 years of experience, I like to say I know a thing or two, but I didn't know what I don't know. And it was the moment of humility that allowed me to open myself up and actually absorb and implement what I was learning. And in second half of 2024, we exploded. We made tons of connections, tons of partnerships, valuable partnerships. And it was because of that step in humility. And I owe it all to God, to Christ, because he allowed me to learn that. I couldn't do it by myself. I kept running into wall after wall after wall. And it was because of my ego not allowing me to do that. And it was my walk in humility that did. 2025, today, we are on pace to doubling what we did in 2022.
That's crazy.
And as long as we keep doing what we're doing, walking with grace and allowing myself to make mistakes and learning from those mistakes and not be hard on myself and the people around me, I have no doubt that we are going to surpass expectation. And it's by spiritual growth that allows me to grow personally, that allows me to grow into my leadership growth. Mm-hmm. And it started with that spiritual decision to commit that I'm not going to continue to build relationships based upon my past, but my future.
Absolutely. First of all, I should have led with that question. I mean, that set the tone. And I hate that we're going to continue this. We're going to have a part 2. I'm bringing David out in person because we've got so much more to unpack. And one thing you don't know, David, is every other guests that I've had thus far, one of the trends that everyone has had that they can attribute their success to is their faith in God. And so I'm just so relieved and refreshed and energized to have you here, because you're right there too. And I look forward to speaking with you and being mentored and coached by you myself. But thank you so much for taking some time out of your day. I know in California, they're 2 hours behind us here in Texas. So I know you've got a lot to do, but we'll definitely be in touch. And yeah, hope to hear from you soon. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And I'm honored to be on our next call.
Absolutely.
Hi, my name is Ryan and I'm a frequent luxury traveler. I love exploring new destinations, but planning for last minute trips can be overwhelming, especially when it comes to finding the right travel essentials. During my trips, I would often struggle finding the necessary items or preparing for excursions, leaving me more exhausted than before I left. That's when I came across Travel Pro, a company that provides personalized travel kits. Now all I have to do is submit my destination, travel dates, and planned activities. And Travel Pro delivers a customized travel kit right to my door. With Travel Pro's convenience and ease, I can now focus on enjoying my trips, knowing that I have everything I need for a healthy and stress-free adventure. Thanks to Travel Pro, my last trips have been more enjoyable than ever. Sign up today and plan your next trip with ease.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us and hanging there with us. Up next, we have one of Dallas's just premier individuals who knows everybody and who is connected into just so many things to help benefit the community here. We have Mr. Bill Wallace. Thank you for joining us.
I'm honored to be here, Mary.
Absolutely. So this wonderful man here almost reminds me of an iceberg where you see just maybe a little bit or a couple things, but they are part of just so many impactful things in the community. Tell us a little bit about some of the more important things that you're partnering on now.
Well, 36 years ago, at the behest of my mentor, Herb Kelleher, Southwest Airlines, I started a group called Success North Dallas. And over the years, Success North Dallas members have founded 120 companies. Wow. 80 published authors, 1,300 jobs found or created, and 8 Ernst & Young Entrepreneurs of the Year. And I met Herb through the founding of the Ronald McDonald House. In 1979, I received a letter that said, "Would you help us build a house?" And I thought, well, I'm a 29-year-old kind of crazy person, and they can't do it without me. Well, we opened that house debt-free in 1981 on Valentine's Day. And about 6 months later, I came to the realization that that was the gas in my tank. That was one of the most self-serving things I've ever done. Mm-hmm. And although I'm a Dallas native, it connected me into the community in a totally different manner, seeing things that I had never seen, even though I grew up here, in terms of philanthropy, other people, and the servant leadership aspect of life, giving back. And that led to Brian's House, Home for HIV and AIDS affected kids during the AIDS crisis.
Oh, wow.
The Ronald McDonald House Charities Board, Ronald McDonald Charities Board, and so many other things. That letter was a life changer. That letter changed my life. And, you know, I started my career really kind of sort of in the technology business, of which that lasted about 6 months. They wanted to move me to Florida, and I said no, and they fired me. So I went back into what I love, sales. And I was in the lumber business till '83, and then went in the insurance business. I had a great, great career. And the whole idea behind Success North Dallas was doing something to separate not only myself, but the 13 other people that were original members back then, separating us from the herd, creating an informal board of directors, a mentor group for each other. And that since grew to, right before COVID, we were running 180 to 220 people. Wow. Our speakers come from all over the world, from England, from India, Canada, and we've never paid a speaker their expenses. They come because of the people in the room, the people that created those jobs, that wrote those books, that created those companies, not just because of me. Mm-hmm. And I've been blessed to literally to know every one of them. And, I'm having fun right now. I'm a partner in a pickleball paddle company. Yes, pickleball paddle company.
Tell us how you got into that.
I got a phone call one day and they said, some of the people at Club Corp are invited club. I said, yeah. And some other people. And I said, well, yeah. But who do you know with pickleball? And I said, oh, I know a lady that coached the Williams sisters in tennis.
What?
In Florida, Joy Macy, who's now a pickleball coach and has been a career tennis coach and an equestrian. And she's into pickleball and she's speaking all over. And I said, we should get her involved. Well, we did. And because of her, our paddles is in Sandals Hotels, Sandals Resorts. She just came back from Dubai. She speaks at all of these pickleball paddle conferences as a keynote. And John Meyer, the partners in it, are all just great people and great friends. And so it's kind of just, it's like going out and having a drink with a bunch of friends. And I'm having so much fun with that. And then I've continued on in my service on boards. And you had asked me about one in particular, which is New Friends, New Life. Now, New Friends, New Life is the #1 aftercare agency for victims of trafficking in the U.S. Our CEO, Executive Director, Bianca Davis, has testified in Washington. She's been in so many other places and is making an impact wherever she goes, carrying New Friends, New Life to levels it's never been at before. And inside of New Friends, New Life, there's a group called the MAG Board, M-A-G.
MAG Board.
Men's Advocacy Group.
Okay.
And it was started by Chris Kleinhart, who is Ray Hunt's son-in-law, to bring men and women together for the purpose of derailing the market for trafficking. When there's no demand, there's no product. Mm-hmm. And educating young men, we do bus tours around North Texas, showing people where trafficking occurs, right in their backyard, next door, 2 blocks away. There was a movie produced here called 8 Days, the story of a young lady in her teens that was sold on the way to a party in the Park Cities.
Oh my God.
And in service in 8 days, 53 men before somebody dropped a phone.
Oh, man.
And that became actually a movie. That's in our backyard, Mary.
Yeah.
That's right here. Dallas is the intersection of freight movement for the U.S. when you think about it. It's also the intersection of trafficking.
Gosh,
Everything crosses through here. You think about Mexico, you think about all the highways, the confluence of highways in North Texas that lead out to the rest of the U.S. Yeah. And with the World Cup coming here, there will be a myriad of people coming into this city for a period of months. And that is one of our other big concerns and big initiatives. We work with all of the law enforcement agencies. We do trainings. We worked with 352 women and girls last year. We have attorneys on staff. We have counselors on staff. Most of these young ladies, I can't say most, many, have criminal records because they've been arrested as a criminal. Even though they had been victimized, they are victims. They are not criminals.
Exactly.
We help them get records expunged. We work with them. We partnered with Bonton Farms down at the Meadows Center. We have a Liberty Garden, which is actually a produce garden that we sell the produce from, but it's a place that the women can go and work and make money and start their lives back. And the Mankindness Breakfast, it's an unbelievable group of men whose names would be well recognized that all came together to do this. And we're having an event on May the 12th,
Okay.
7:30 in the morning at Dallas Country Club. And there'll be 150 to 200 men and women there. And it's a fundraiser, obviously, but it's more than that. It's an educational event where we have a keynote speaker coming in who will rock your world. So you can look up New Friends, New Life, New Friends, New Life. It's all on the website. And I was asked to be honorary chair of this event and am serving as honorary chair. Dr. Don Allen is the chair. And we're looking forward to a great educational event, fundraising event. And for those of you out there, even if you're not interested in coming, take a look at the New Friends, New Life website. You'll be amazed at what is going on right in your own backyard and what is being done to counter what is being done in your own backyard. It's a fabulous staff. There's 26, 28 people on staff.
Yeah.
This is not just a small thing. We office headquarters down at the Meadows Philanthropy Park. I call it that. It's not necessarily the name, but what the Meadows have put together where nonprofits can be housed at a reasonable rate and make a difference. And we were starting in a church.
Amen.
There was a young victim. They didn't know what to do with her. 3 people came together. They started taking care of her. Then it became 2. Then it became 3. And then it became an agency. So and, Ronald McDonald House and so many other things I've been blessed with. But Success North Dallas is a lasting legacy. Back in 1988, when I started Success North Dallas, nobody wanted women in networking. Women were not welcome. And I made the group 30% women minimum from day one. I was told I was crazy. I was told I was an idiot. But you ladies were my disruptors that helped me, according to the Wall Street Journal, create transformational change in networking throughout the U.S. So for that, I say thank you. And it's been a labor, but it's been a labor of love and very fulfilling, both personal and business wise. But I've got to meet some of the top leaders in the world due to that. And when you have people like Colleen Barrett or Craig Hall call you and say, I'm coming out with a book. Do you have an open gate?
Wow.
Do you have time?
Oh my
Can I
gosh.
speak? and you laugh and you think, what? You take a step back. I'll never forget Colleen Barrett. She sent me a email with a note. Yes, I can write an email. Do you have it went something to this effect. Do you have an opening on your speaker's calendar in the near future? XOXO. I texted her back and I said, Dear Colleen, tell me who the speaker is, XOXO, and I'll let you know if we have an opening. And she texted me back in all caps, it's me, XO. And, these fun things have happened, but the head of Scotland Yard. I think my favorite meeting of the year, and I don't care if we had the president speaking, my favorite meeting of the year is for the last 28 years. Every February, we've presented the Dallas Police Officer of the Year Award.
Oh, wow.
And that is truly a study in humility. These officers, what they do, they're criticized and not thanked.
Right.
And there's a group called the Dallas Community Police Awards, and every month they present an Officer of the Month. A different organization does it. And once a year, from those 12, they select an Officer of the Year. And we at Success North Dallas are honored to present that. And with
Let me nominate my brother.
There you go. And It's absolutely one of the crowning glories of Success North Dallas to be able to give back. We sponsor the North Texas Crime Commission. We are out in the community. We're out in the community making a difference. And the website, successnorthdallas.com. We meet the third Wednesday of every month at Prestonwood Country Club from starting at 7 a.m. Yes, you have to get up early, but I promise you,
It's worth it.
It's well worth it because you see the creative genius just exploding in that room. But more than that, you see the relationships based on love and friendship that are born. You know, I've often said, you know, love on somebody, they'll love on you back. And that's kind of been the watchwords.
Absolutely. I could talk to you all day, and I'll probably continue to pick your brain after this, but we're out of time for today. But thank you so much for joining us. And I'm excited to continue to work with you and learn from you. So thank you so much, Bill.
Well, I'm excited to be here, and I thank you very much for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
This has been absolutely great.
Thank you so much.